I'm Sid Greff with 1 Million Cups. I'm here with Kristi Govertsen. And Kristi Govertsen, among other things, not only an amazing woman, but also a professional public speaker and a coach, and a lot of other things that I actually don't know. So I'm going to ask you, what is your core business or the thing that you do, and how long have you been doing it?
So my core business actually has two tracks. One is I am a professional speaker, and I tend to leave where I'm local, because that's just always a challenge to do where you're local, because you can never be a prophet in your own town, so it doesn't matter where you live, that's just hard to do. So I always tend to focus out of my local community to do that part of it. And with that part, I work with membership organizations to help them grow, retain members, and some leadership. That's its one track. Locally, because it's just no fun to be a part of a community if you're not a contributing, valuable member of that community. I have a local business as well, which is I work with entrepreneurs to do speaking as part of their marketing.
Really?
So even if they don't want to be speakers, every entrepreneur has to go out and tell their story.
Yeah.
They have to talk about their business. They need to be articulate, and they need to be positioned as an expert.
So you teach them do you teach them the basics of public speaking, or you teach them how to present themselves, promote themselves, self-promote?
Both. So a lot of the basics can be done in other places. There's a lot of speaker training out there like Toastmasters, and that's an amazing organization for the technical side. But I have the opinion that there are three parts to public speaking. There's the technical. Those are your ums and your ahs and having organization. Then there's what I call the creative.
Okay.
And those are brand new ideas nobody's ever seen, and I think this is why TED Talks are so popular, right? Brand new ideas. They're out of the box. And then there's this third part, which I call the magical stuff, which is the persuasive influencer, hypnotize your audience, have them, which are the elements that are needed, especially if you're going to sell from the stage.
Yeah.
And that's not taught in those other places. So there's different components depending on where people come in and what skill set they have.
So how deep do you go on the secret sauce of teaching them how to sell from stage without being salesy?
Oh,
or do
deep.
You?
Because that's the best part.
So is it all psychology? Or is it?
It's some psychology, it's some just understanding of people's brains, so just neuroscience.
Yeah.
Some of it is cadence of how you speak, some of it's word choices, there's a lot of different pieces brought together. But so in a previous version of this, as I came into this business, is I was a ghostwriter for other professional speakers. Not a speechwriter. That's when you get to say, I was so-and-so's speechwriter. You're a ghostwriter, so you don't get any credit.
Right.
You write them and you send them out, right? And I decided that there were 4 natural presentation styles.
Okay.
And so I actually developed a whole assessment about it, and before I would write a speech for somebody, I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be something they couldn't go do naturally.
Right.
And so, based on these 4 different styles, I would gear how I would help them write their speeches or write their speeches for them based on that. And so like one of the styles is relationship centered. So you believe if you have a relationship with your audience, it's going to be more effective, which means you're going to do certain things in your speech that would be different than somebody who believes that information content is the most important, that they walk away with something really valuable and tangible they can use.
Right.
Doesn't mean you can't have both, but you're going to have one that's dominant.
Dominant. Okay.
So,
cool.
So
Did you classify these?
Secret
Is this
sauce.
your classifications?
Yes.
Okay.
It's my own thing.
Top secret. How much do I owe you for that?
Oh, nothing.
Just kidding.
Do you want all 4 of them, and then you can everybody can ruminate on that?
Everybody would know. Let's do that and wrap it up.
Okay. So the four styles, action oriented. You like movement. You want your audience to move a lot of physical motion.
Okay.
That's different than relationships, which we just talked about, having rapport or have them have relationships with each other. Then there's information content, which is, I would say, TED Talks also tend towards this as well. So when I say information content, I don't mean boring. I just mean highly informative.
Right.
Statistics, evidence, compelling stories that are, dripping in truth, right? So that's information content. And then there's purpose-driven. So if you've got a real, spiritual bent, or go out and save the world, or have your audience be bigger than they used to be and go do things beyond themselves, that's purpose-driven. Okay. So those are the 4. I'm not going to give you the secret about how I assess that, but those are the 4.
Awesome. Thank you.
And 1 Million Cups makes coffee look good.
We make coffee look good. Percolating the world. Rodeo.